So, woke up out of bed and immediately just jumped out and decided to go to the nearest track or park in my house. And the reason for that is I'm doing lots of research on the planets and an understanding of speed and the ability to move, right? So I classify myself as a poet. I like to read, I like to write, I like to exist in poetic worlds, which I consider those worlds to be worlds that are one level above this world, trickling down from many, many layers of reality, right? However, you can't be in those worlds for too long, right? Because let's say you want to be like a master seer. Ideally, you want to get into a meditative state where you can see everything in those worlds. However, eventually you got to come back to this world. Now, my plan was to just show you images of the track, but this is the track right now. The track is covered in snow. So it's looking like I'm gonna have to wait a while until the snow melts. So, as I said, I am anchoring my role as a poet. But that's not just a poet, but an oracle who can speak to sources around me, sources in nature, right? For example, look at this tree. I believe that with enough effort and time, right, where you dissolved your understanding of self, you're able to communicate and hear the thoughts of that tree, the story of that tree, as it relates to you, right? So I want to start exploring, instead of being inside all the time, meditating on God's who knows what, and stuff that I can't really talk to you about, because to speak it would be to drain its energy, or drain its substance until it's in a solid form, right? So there's places I'm going to be frequenting this year, and that's the gym and the track. However, I gotta wait for this track to melt. But I'm still a consistent runner, but I'm trying to get back to the point where I can run at least 5Ks and sprint really well, and maybe do a couple meets if possible, hopefully, God willing. And yeah, and then another thing is the gym, the track, and mountains, right? And just various parks. And and there's this topic of enlightenment. Enlightenment is something that comes in waves, right? And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about before I cut this video off. Because everyone likes to think they're enlightened, and everyone is enlightened. But enlightenment comes in waves, in the sense of one person's enlightenment is as it relates to their state, the state of their spirit, right? So it comes in waves, in the sense of as you go through life, even if you have an enlightened being, sometimes that enlightened being can be dulled, right? And the process of seeking enlightenment comes to the point where it's a process of trying to ignite, keep the light that you found for yourself constantly on, right? And then it gets easier as you go, because it's like a wave. It's like a wave in the sense of once you could catch the wave never really disappears. You just have to be able to find the frequency of that wave and exist as it. So my enlightenment comes when I take a deep breath, and try to capture what I see in my mind, words, and then to stories, to deeper understandings of reality, and then I can then go and meditate on these things, and it gives me deeper fruits that I can use in my life and I can share with you. So that is all I really have to say. Like, as you see, I have to wait until the track melts so I can start running on it. Alright, and then I'm gonna be in the gym. I'm in the gym, I'm not lift some weights, but I'm practicing yoga. So like, I'm thinking of longevity because I like yoga. Because you can do lots of things with yoga that makes you feel mobility. But the weights kind of give you kind of understanding of strength. And there's something called strength yoga where it's more of like energy of movement, right? It's similar to like calisthenics and like, I don't know what to call it, but fast twitch movements. But with the strength yoga, it's kind of like you're capturing the movement and you remember it in your body, and then it becomes easier and easier. But other than that, catch me here in the gym, or the mountains, or the studio. Because as I said, I want to be a very good poet, right? A very good poet, a very good bard, and that takes a kind of stillness. And I think I was speaking very well in this video, so I could probably post it, right? Because I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, and sometimes I just want to give up on TikTok because sometimes I just don't see the point. But TikTok gives you so much connections that it's hard to disregard its use, right? But this is a video that I can post on YouTube and like listen to it for myself. The trees look, right? This is why I come to nature, just to see these structures. Right now, I see myself. I mean, nature has been speaking to me so well that animals, the forms of animals, their secrets, their powers are just coming to me. And I see myself like a bird, a bear, and really at peace. However, I can't be at peace too long. Because, really, this bird has to figure out how to make some money really quickly, right? However, I'm resting for now, and my Steam Deck is about to come, so that's just going to stay in my room, and I'm just going to like cultivate some games on there. And I'm not going to talk about my two books, Fruit and Magic, just yet, but with those two books anchored in this reality, like anything that's a game, a story, can hold some kind of weight. And the weight that it's held at is not in the it's a way towards infinity, because if you could find some way to capture your mind within any of these forms, a book, film, game, towards infinity, you could technically travel there, right? You just have to strengthen your imagination, your ability to be in that specific space and time, right? And you might learn things about it. But anyway, I don't speak too much. Alright, so yeah, that's all I gotta say. But like, this snow is very annoying. I don't not like the snow, but like, it's just like, look what I have to deal with. It's crazy. I'm gonna post this, and I have another video that I use just to get out here, but I think this is a better video. And I'm gonna cut it off here and just post it. I'm gonna post it on YouTube though. On TikTok though, I don't know. I feel like giving up because TikTok I can only post like short aspects of this video. So maybe I'll find a aspect that's very nice and then post it. But yeah, this is what we're looking at.